Hello, everybody. This is Pro League This Week. I'm Hugh Green alongside David Tabb. David, we're a couple weeks removed from stop 4 at the hub in Jacksonville of the All Florida Pro League. One more regular season stop, and then the finals of the season in the AFPL coming up. Exciting times in the AFPL right now.
I mean, it's winding down a little bit. I'm getting text messages about Lakeland already. The minor league is already sold out. If you know the history of the All Florida Pro League, Lakeland has been historically like the biggest as far as attendance wise. Lakeland Pickleball Academy, we're gonna need a clicker to count the people because we might go around that max capacity building. I just like I can't believe the momentum that is happening right now around the league.
Yeah, I mean, we're still, about 3 weeks away from the stop, and yeah, the minor league already being sold out. No more spots. If you didn't get your minor league registration in time, be sure to do it for the next stop because that's going to be selling out just as quick. But yeah, exciting times around the All Florida Pro League. Stop 5 in Lakeland coming up in just a couple weeks, and there'll be some new faces on teams when it comes to stop 5. We had a few subs join some teams. A few subs join some teams, and no bigger story than this. Noah Waddell coming in to sub in for Kamden Bradstreet for the St. Pete Iceburgs.
I mean, Kamden Bradstreet, right, an MVP candidate being gone from your team is definitely huge. But to bring in Noah Waddell, arguably great male player, has been in the league, formerly of the Chomp, and indoors, he's going to have something to prove. I mean, it's going to be absolute chaos with Noah Waddell. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, at the second waiver wire, he gets waived by the GNV Chomp. They pick up a couple of new additions for them, and they've been playing well since that. But for Noah Waddell, he has to assume, I'm sure he thinks he's the best player in the league. But just by the way he plays, I mean, that's his mindset is I'm the best player on the court at all times. So now he comes in as a sub, definitely a chip on his shoulder and something to prove, no doubt about it.
Well, the only other piece that would be great is if they actually did play the Chomp, but they don't, so that's unfortunate. But Noah Waddell, knowing that this is going to be his last stop in the All Florida Pro League, he's going to come out and prove that he should absolutely be on the teams, that he should have been an MVP candidate, that he's going to look forward to wrecking some people's dreams here because he's going to have really big impact on the standings, So we're looking at the pools. We'll look at them later, but you're talking about the 1 and the 2 seed are up for grabs right now. Mm-hmm. And both those teams, he's going to play the Ballers, who he hasn't had great success against. And he's going to be playing alongside Steven Preisler. So it's going to make an interesting dynamic because, you've got Miami running right up everybody's tailpipe, and they're in that second pool. He's going to have a say in who finishes in that 1 and 2 spot.
Yeah, he definitely will. And talk about Kamden Bradstreet being out. He's been one of the top players all season long. That's a big miss for St. Pete in the final regular season stop. You talk about how important this stop is for the standings heading into the finals. I mean, the Icebergs sitting in that 2 spot right now, a few points behind first, but also a few points from dropping into third and not getting a bye in the finals. So that it's a very important top 2 spots, and Kamden being out. So now Noah is going to play on the right side. Steven will play on the left when you usually see Kamden play on the left. So that'll be interesting as well.
I know Steven likes to play the left here a little bit, obviously playing with Kamden, but, St. Pete, they have Ari, right? That's playing there, Sophia. So another new dynamic here. It'll be interesting to see what Bruce does with his lineups. But also, too, is they haven't been playing the ball that they've been playing at the beginning of the season. So now you're going to add the firepower and the just fieriness of a Noah Waddell. I think is actually a good thing for St. Pete because it'll give them a little bit fresh take, fire them up a little bit to a team that has, frankly, been on the decline here.
Yeah, maybe a little bit dejected over the past few stops for them. So a lot of energy coming to Lakeland for St. Pete. The next sub that was made is the other top two team, Jacksonville Ballers. They're probably number one player this season. Alexa going to be out, and they bring in Sable, who's been phenomenal this year as a sub.
Yeah, Sable coming in, going to be a good sub for them. Obviously, having Alexa, the number one girl in the league right now, gone is not going to be easy for them. So, I mean, as somebody who loves this league a lot, I love the drama coming down to the last stop with all these players. The top two teams missing their top players. It's going to make for a really interesting stop because it's just one of those things where chemistry matters. Obviously, neither one of these teams made the stop finals. Jacksonville didn't even do it in their hometown, so
Yeah.
now they have to do it with a sub. And to try and make it in Lakeland against the top teams, it's going to be. I really don't know what's going to happen.
No, I mean nothing's set in stone right now. That's for sure because we have seen teams have success with subs on their team so far this season. We just saw it with the Miami Blaze. They had a sub in for stop four, and they made it to the finals. So they had success. They also made it to the finals with two subs earlier on in the season. So I mean, they're just a team that's been able to plug and play very well. And for St. Pete and Jacksonville, they're hoping that they can do the same thing and make it to the stop finals. St. Pete, as you talked about it a little bit, they're kind of on a decline. They've also made, I think, just one stop finals all season long, right? So they're in second place, but they haven't really made it. As for the Ballers, they've made, I think, four, so or three or four. So they've seen lots of success, but they also haven't had a sub all season. So their first sub with Alexa missing here. That'll be interesting.
I just Jacksonville's going to have show that they have mental fortitude. That's really what it's going to boil down to is can they be strong enough mentally without their best player, right? Because the talk is without Alexa, the Ballers are mediocre. They're not going to be as good as they have been without her. So, Alyssa has progressed very well. Jared's progressing. Ahmed being a fourth round pick and now an MVP candidate is huge for them. They've got to figure out the three of them, how to gel, how to get Sable into that mix. But really it boils down to those three. And can they do it without Alexa? And it's going to be a mental warfare game for them because if they go into this stop believing that they're already cooked, they will get cooked and they will absolutely get embarrassed in Lakeland. And that is not what you want. You got to look at this thing. You're going into the last stop. Yes, it's going to set the standings and possibly give people a bye, but it's also going to generate momentum because it's not like you have, a month to regroup.
Yeah.
It's 2 weeks and it's finals time. I mean, there is a 1 weekend window where these players are going to have a chance to, get together and figure it out. If you are on the decline going into the playoffs, that is another obstacle you have to overcome and not good for any of these teams.
Yes, momentum is one of the biggest things in all of sports, and pickleball no different than the rest. So our final sub, we have three so far going in for stop five. It's Maddy Stone-Wheatley coming in for the newly acquired Hanna Duncan of the Punta Gorda Tide. So Maddy in for Hanna there. I know Hanna played well in her first stop with the Tide in stop four after being traded for Ari from the Iceburgs to the Tide. And now Maddy, who was dropped earlier in the season, gets another opportunity to show off her skills.
Yeah, so again, another player dropped coming back and playing. She is going to be impactful. I know that she's been doing a lot of work. I know that she's been traveling a little bit too, was in the Colorado area competing as well. So, seeing Maddy come back in the league, I love when players get a chip on their shoulder and want to prove that they should be here, right? So she's going to be looking to prove to Lakeland that she still belongs. So, and shout out to, Hanna. What a great thing for her being able to get traded, come back and take the Tide to a victory at the last stop. the Punta Gorda Tide just haven't had any momentum at all. The consistency of players being around there, it's been kind of one of those seasons where you start to gain a little bit and then you lose it. So now you've got to win and then you lose the new player that you acquired. So those things are tough on a team, and Punta Gorda needs it. Punta Gorda needs to come out and show out. They've got to string together at least 2 victories to make the playoffs.
Yeah, they're sitting in last place right now in the season-long standings. They got to make it to 6 to get into the finals. Yeah, you say that. Yeah, they need at least 2 wins. I mean, they might need to get to a stop finals just to make it over the hump and make it into that 6th spot to make the finals at the end of the year. But doing that without Hanna is going to be tough for them. And plugging in Maddy, who's a very strong player, but it's just not somebody who's been around long. And at least Hanna had 1 stop together with her teammates, and now I'm pretty sure. I'm not completely sure, but I think that every stop the Tide have had at least 1 new person. I don't think they've had 4 of the same people from one stop to another, and that continues here. So that's one of their biggest dropping points of the season, because you look at the top and the bottom of the standings. You look at the Ballers. They've had their whole team the whole season. And you look at the Tide, all the different subs and moves and waiver wires and trades that they've made. It's been a lot of different pieces, a lot of different faces on that team. And that's definitely been a part of, the lack of success that we've seen from them.
You bring up something good there, Hugh. If you look at the top teams versus the bottom teams, the number one thing of the top teams is consistency. The Ballers have had it. Miami has had 1 person miss a couple of stops, like Jake missed one. I think Ben missed one, but it hasn't been where, they're missing 1 player at a time, but then that player comes back for 2 or 3 stops. At the top, if you look, O-Town, right? The Chomp, Punta Gorda Tide, all consistently erratic on their rosters, not being able to keep the same people in the same places, and that's what's causing them to be at the bottom. Lakeland had consistency, made a couple moves. Now you see them gaining that momentum back. The Manatees obviously are on the top tier teams because look, they've had the entire season. I think 2 subs the entire year, and it was 1 at a time. So it wasn't like half the team missing. Yeah, great point there, Hugh.
Yeah, so we'll see if any of those 3 subs can kind of stand out and help those teams move up in the standings or keep them where they are. It'll be interesting for sure. But you mentioned it earlier, the pools are coming live to you here on Pro League this week, the final regular season stop. Here they are, the morning and the afternoon pools. It's going to be madness. You got the Blaze and then the bottom 3 teams in the standings in the morning pool. That I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, right? They're all fighting each other for that 6th spot, and here you go.
Let's go with a 1-800-ASK-DAVE fantasy tip from old, not the Dave you should be asking for fantasy tips. I'm going Miami Blaze. There's no way I'm picking against them. I've learned my lesson in this pool. I can't pick against them right here. And they're in the pool. I love, other than the Miami Blaze here, think about this. The Chomp are playing O-Town. If the Chomp can figure out how to go 3-0 in this pool, they could really put themselves in the 6th spot and bounce the Bangers. They could absolutely do this and the fact that we get that in the morning pool is going to be electric, right? It's going to be so much fun seeing them and what they can do early in the morning. Again, they got to get off to a fast start, but I mean, the Chomp want it, but I can't pick against the Blaze. I really wanted to, but they would probably murder me in the hallway if I did.
Yeah, but we'll have our picks coming up either next week or the week after. But the Chomp, definitely something to play for, and the Tide too. I mean, look, they don't have to. None of these teams have to play the Iceburgs or the Ballers in the morning pool, and they have the opportunity is there. The openness is there for these teams to make a move and get out of the bottom 2 spots. And for the Bangers, they really got to come up with something because they took an 0-3 in stop 4, and now they're coming into stop 5, maybe a little bit more lenient of a pool, you could say. But it's still,
the bottom teams are there, so it's like whatever, you're the bottom team. I really do hope we get. I don't know what the actual schedule is, but I hope we get Tide Chomp first, because if that game right there, that matchup in the morning pool will probably decide how that entire morning pool goes.
Yeah.
If Punta Gorda loses that first one and they lose like 4-1 or something like that, they're all but eliminated. Right. So the rest of the day, they're playing for pride. The Chomp win it, and they've set themselves up to then take on O-Town and then take on Miami. If they go 3-0 and knock out those other two teams, they will. If they can do it on 4-1s, you can't have any 3-2s here. You've got to play to win these matchups 4-1 at a minimum. They will, in essence, take over this 6th spot from O-Town.
Yeah.
And then you'll have the 2-time champ BK not even
Out of the
playing stop finals in his hometown of Orlando.
That'll be, I mean, and the team not even playing in their hometown. The Bangers not being in their hometown of the finals. I mean, how an interesting storyline. I mean, it doesn't get any more interesting than that. So the Blaze, I mean, probably the favorites, as you said, heading into that morning pool. And then you look at the afternoon pool. We talked about the pool of death in the last one.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's even worse this time.
I mean, Noah Waddell is going to go absolutely fuego on this thing, but like he's going to go crazy playing all these teams. But it is literally the top teams in the league, right?
Minus the Blaze, and that's it.
You got 1, 2, 3, and 4, or one. You're right.
1, 2, 4, 5.
1, 2, 4, 5. So in Lakeland, coming off a stop win with their retooled team in their hometown, Lakeland has always performed above their talent in their home stop every single time. Like, you know, Nate and Dave do a great job of prepping them, getting them ready. That crowd, the bump that they get by playing in front of the home crowd, it's going to be, I mean, I feel bad for whoever plays them first. I do. It is going to be an absolute ruckus.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And they don't have to, you know, wake up and get on the court right away. They have time to, you know, rest themselves, get in a good night's sleep, and play in that afternoon pool. So it'll be really interesting to see. And then for the Ballers and the Icebergs, you know, they both have to perform, or they both have an opportunity to drop out of the top 2 spots. If nothing's set in stone right now. So if the Blaze have a really good day and the Icebergs and Ballers don't, the Blaze are going to steal one of those top 2 spots from those teams.
I mean, if you're the Miami Blaze, the matchup that you want to see is whoever's playing the Icebergs, right? If it's the Ballers playing right there, whoever loses that matchup, you are rooting against that team the entire day. Day. Even if they don't win the morning pool, they'll probably all stick around just to see what's going to happen, because I mean, we'll know, we'll probably get a good feel on the last round of pool play exactly what's going to happen, and it's going to cause a lot of drama. So you're talking about, you know, this dynamic of nothing set in stone yet, you know, other than, you know, probably Lakeland knows they're going to make it great.
Yeah.
And they're not going to have a say, but in the Manatees, right, they're going to make it, but they might not get that 1 or 2, but they can still have impact. So, you know, I keep saying it over and over again here, but the impact they can have, also the momentum that they can drive to get into the playoffs. If they can steal that pool, like one of those 2 teams, it creates so much good momentum moving in. Playoff pickleball is not like these other stops where you're guaranteed. We've seen it in previous seasons where, you know, top teams come in because they've had good success and not do well. So you've got to be prepared to play well, even if you're just comfortable and know you made it, things like that, because that momentum swing it's so valuable when it comes to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. And we saw that momentum in the midseason tournament as well. I mean, the top team went down to the 8th seed in that one. This time we're not going to have an 8th seed, but you'll see the 6th seed, you know, possibly make their way up, especially if the Chomp or the Tide have a really good day and they get to that 6th spot. I mean, think about the momentum they'll have as the sixth seed. They've been in the bottom two the whole season, and they finally make it into the playoffs in the final stop of the season. And then the momentum they'll have heading into the finals 2 weeks later, that'll be really interesting because the hottest team might be the favorite going into the finals, no matter where they are in the standings. The hottest team in the league, they have a chance to shock the world, win it all.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're seeing like look at what the Dallas Flash are doing right now in MLP, right? Like, nobody really expected them to kind of go through it, and look at where they're at. They're in the finals, which will be this weekend. You see it time and time again in sports. The momentum shift matters. It's hard to put a finger on who actually the best teams in the league are too, because you've also given all these other teams had 2 chances and they've retooled their teams. The reason we had a new stop champion is because all the teams are about even now. Yeah. There's not any clear-cut favorites. After the draft, you had some new owners doing some new things. They were, taking a couple flyers, swinging misses on a few, pickups. But now they've gotten in the groove. They're recognizing talent. They know exactly what it's going to take to win, and they've retooled those teams to be able to, compete at the highest level and, see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see who could take home that afternoon pool, who could take home the stop finals and get that extra half point and extra point in the season standings, because it'll all go down to that when it comes to the season finals 2 weeks later in the standings. So we talked about the oh yeah, you go.
I was going to say something here was, think about what happens in one of these pools when somebody 5-0 somebody, right? You're talking about a negative point. If you, where pressure matters is if you are in this standings and you are really, really close to being eliminated or getting bumped out of a key spot, and you go 0-5, the pressure of 0-4 is real. We saw with singles, anything could happen. You go 0-4 in your doubles matches, that Dreambreaker is going to be so pressure packed on your team. We've watched it break people. I mean, somebody goes 0-5, loses a point, the other team's gaining those points. That's kind of one of those things like, holy crap.
Yeah, I mean, anything could really happen. And I just to take another quick look at the season standings right here. I mean, you see we talked about the chance that the Chomp and the Tide have, mainly the Chomp, because they're only 3 points away, as you can see, behind the Bangers. And then at the top of the standings, the Blaze, they have a really good day. They're only 3.5 out of the top 2. So, I mean, anything's possible when it comes to stop 5 in Lakeland and the crowd bumping and the Palms with all the most momentum in the league and the Chop and the Tide, everything to play for, nothing to lose, really. They got nothing to lose. I mean, that's sometimes the scariest thing in sports is a team that plays with nothing to lose, because they've been in the bottom 2 spots all season long. Now they come in, and not only do they want to play spoiler to the other teams like the Blaze and not let them get to the top 2, and play spoiler to the Bangers and not let them get in the stop finals, but they have nothing to lose, as I said. So they come in as, they're all systems go, and they're ready to play.
There is nothing better than an underdog story. Right? Like, being underestimated, beat on all season, picking up new players, and those new players come in and add energy and can do good things for your team. Also, too, is, these coaches have a lot of pride. Nobody wants to go home right now. They actually have, all the owners have to go to Orlando anyway for meetings. The last thing they want to do is go to Orlando and watch other teams win. It's one of those things where we're winding down the season. It's been intense. I mean, we've had stop after stop, right? They've been put on a spotlight. Some players have handled it well. Some players haven't. And so, some coaches have handled it well. Some haven't. And it's part of that learning process. But at the end of the day, it's sports. It's sports. So, I really do enjoy the fact that it's coming down to this final stop too.
Yeah, I mean, it's all you can ask for when you begin the season is that it's close at the end, and that's exactly what we have. We talked about the momentum that the Palms have built, and they did that because they played insanely well in stop four. It was the women, the men's, the mixed singles, especially. Everything was clicking for Lakeland in Jacksonville. So we can take a look at a few of their top points of the day out in Jacksonville in stop four. Here you have men's doubles with Michael and Eli working together, moving together. Michael has a tampon in his nose at this point, and you look at Eli just working at the kitchen line, the hands.
Hugh, I'm going to give a shout out to you here a little bit, man. You've been able to find a clip that Eli did not foot fault on is pretty impressive for you. That poor guy. No, but look, like you said, Eli there's a lot of pressure on him because Michael Shaw in his hometown, in front of his crowd, being able to perform. And you watching them move the ball around. Look how far Michael came over into that space to kind of help Eli out. Is one of the reasons that they're working well together. He doesn't have a huge ego. You can see their footwork is pretty good. They've communicated what their pattern looks like, and then he just went out, reached in, and was able to pull that off. And so with Nate, they always do their homework. So they'll be able to do that again, and they'd be able to pick up patterns and perform those well. So Eli's in front of his hometown now. So he lives in Lakeland. He goes to school in Lakeland. I'm wondering how he's going to handle the pressure. I'm pretty sure he won't foot fault 75 times like he did, though.
I guarantee you he's been working on that. He might stand a half foot behind the kitchen line just to make sure he doesn't do it 10 times again. But something I really like seeing is him taking that ball out of the air, because he's not the tallest guy in the league, but he has that reach. He has that long reach. He gets down low, it bends the knees. He's able to reach out and take the ball out of the air to speed it up, and then it wins him the point too. So he was really impressive in his first stop as a permanent member of the Palms. And we take a look at another clip here. This time it's Eli again playing with Sherry. And take a look at this. Sherry just, she keeping the pattern going. And then the ATP in the end after a couple digs. There it goes.
Wow.
Well, one thing is we got to work on our commentators, but no, you can see like Sherry Ann is so unsung in this thing. She's so quiet, off the court. You don't get a ton of action with her. I watched her play singles, and she absolutely ripped. You could see what she was doing there was literally just letting the pattern extend. So you could see here that the forehand, she's getting pressed out there on the angle. Look how quick she gets back to the middle. But you could see that she is setting it up. See, not as far back, and then just let it rip. So being able to put that into Sam's body, she was able to, really the footwork there was impressive.
Yeah, because she kind of lulled them into that false sense of security. Just she thought both the players on the Chomp thought she was going to keep going with that cross court forehand dink combination. And then she switches it up and pulls off the ATP to win the point. And that's at a pressure point right there. That's game point. If they lose that, they lose the game. So that was a big one from Sherry. And then we talk about pressure. Singles in the stop finals to win it. Singles Dreambreaker, Michael Shaw showing off his singles ability. They're going at the baseline. Then he comes up with the backhand off the bounce. And then look at the reaction from him too after this. Look at how much it means to him. Come on, look at that.
I mean, he was in front of his hometown squad, so that was pretty fun. Michael Shaw likes singles. He plays a lot of singles. So being able to put him out for Lakeland is really huge for that team. Eli's still growing into the sport. He's working hard on his doubles game, but having Michael Shaw in singles as your closer, I mean, one of those things, you want that rough and rowdy guy. Dude threw a tampon in his nose so that he could keep playing. It was the most hilarious thing I've seen in our league to date.
And that was maybe 10 minutes, if that, after he pulled up with a cramp earlier in that Dreambreaker. to fight through that, go back on the sideline during the points he wasn't in when Sherry was out there and he's rolling out his hamstring, and somehow he was able to come back and move the way he did at that point and show it off to help them earn that stop victory. I mean, we've seen a lot of the Palms so far this season, and especially with their two new additions in stop four. Is there something that you've seen from them that you think either they can improve upon or something that they just have to keep going at that's been working for them and it worked for them in the last stop?
Well, I mean, it's going to be something where, they've got two new players. I'm interested to see what they do as far as mixed matchups go, because I think they have a lot of interchangeable stuff. What I want to see them do is be more strategic in that and saying, okay, if you're going to put out this team and match up the players better, because I do think that they can match up well against teams by just interchanging their mixed doubles lineup. Eli obviously is not Michael Shaw, but you're gonna throw him out first. Who he plays with is gonna really matter, especially in the stop finals. Also, too, is like what you saw a little bit of Eli Curl's effect was they got some energy.
Yeah,
they got some energy. Maddie Porter also too, a lot of energy. That replaced what they had before. So those are things that they're doing well. I want to see them get a little more strategic now that they have the chemistry.
Yeah, and now that they've seen it, right? Because they've had an opportunity in stop four to test the waters a little bit with their mixed doubles matchups. And now, if it's worked for them, hey, keep it going. I mean, obviously, whatever they did worked for them in stop four, but you also give the other teams tape on your teams, right? Like if you would like teams that have been running out the same mixed doubles pairs the whole season, there's maybe things in that other teams can go at. Weaknesses in those two. But if you come out with a whole new team and switch it up, that's something that the other teams haven't seen before, and they have no tape on it, and they can't prepare for it as much as they do for the same mixed doubles pairs that they've been preparing for all season. So that's a really good point.
They have to at least one time throw Sherry and Eli together because those are the hometown homies, right? So you want to watch Lakeland go crazy? Throw Sherry out there with Eli, two Lakeland teams, and see what happens, man, because that crowd will go absolutely bananas if they throw that out. So, those are the things that I love seeing out of the league and being able to do that. They're going to have to be strategic in it, but I would love to see that matchup just one time, only for just the sheer magnitude. I think we'll hit earthquake status on the crowd noise.
Oh yeah, inside building right there. Yeah, it's gonna be the roof's gonna get blown off of that place if Lakeland's able to pull off another stop win. That place is gonna go berserk. No, especially with the amount of people that are in there because the whole minor league sold out. It's gonna be crazy.
I mean, the fact that minor league's already sold out Lakeland loves team pickleball, and they've been huge fans of the Palms, obviously, since the league started. This one's going to be 100% indoors. So, like, you're not going to know what time it is unless you look at your watch. And, it's a comfortable environment to come, sit down, watch some good pickleball. Lakeland loves its pickleball. I remember when the PPA came around to Lakeland, it was pretty fun. And actually, the PPA staff were talking to me about, they're like, wow, this town really came out. It was one of a great stop for them. Attendance wise, they sold out tickets. They were trying to do shifts. Lakeland loves its pickleball. And so it's going to be, we talk about development of the players on and off the court. Players are going to have to figure out how to handle that. If you're playing against Lakeland in this stop and you're not used to crowd noise, you better buckle up, Buttercup, because it is going to be loud and it is not going to be loud for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be, completely against you.
Yeah, it's going to be completely against you. And they don't hide it. They're respectful and they're nice, but I mean, you might have some way outs from the crowd,
Yeah, yeah. The refs are gonna have to. They're gonna have to stay focused too, because I mean, all that noise coming behind them. If they call a ball out that's that's like really close, and the fans thought it was in, they're gonna get an earful.
I didn't even think about the referees in that one. That's a good call. We're gonna have to protect them because the first Eli curls foot fault, the boo birds are gonna come
Oh
out on
yeah.
the ref, and so that won't be good for the league look there. So, nah, it's gonna be a great stop. Obviously we love coming to Lakeland. We love being a part of that community. The Palms have done, I mean, phenomenal work. They also have good looking merch, so it's fun.
Yeah, they do. It's always fun. The green is a good. It's a really good color. And, we've been talking about the Lakeland Palms and how good they've been over the past couple weeks, heading in to their home stop. And today we have our interview is with one of the Lakeland Palms star player, Michael Shaw, who will be joining us here on the show. So thank you so much for being with us, Michael.
Here he is.
Thanks for
Ready to
having
go.
me.
Left side Shaw. Here he is.
Thanks, guys, for having me.
Yeah, bud. How's
No
it going?
problem.
Nice
Good,
drinking.
good.
Hey, I before we start off, I think this is out of all of our interviews so far on the show, this is 100% the best setup that we've seen.
Well, thank you. It's all credit to my brother. He helped get this set up for me, so it's good.
There you go.
That's the thumbs up.
Shout out, Broham. All right, so Michael, this is your first year in the league with us, but we want to know more about you. What is your journey like? Like, what are your goals? How did you find pickleball and start playing?
Yeah. So, I mean, growing up, I played basketball was probably my main sport. So, love team sports. I always loved learning new, niche, different sports, and I love the challenge that brought. But I learned pickleball when I was 19 years old, so about 4 years ago. My parents had some friends that invited them out to play in a church gym, and so my dad invited me and all my siblings out to play as well. So we all learned at the same time, and my family still plays to this day. So super fun to be able to play with them. But yeah, we learned together, and I continued. I played my first tournament with my dad, so that was always fun. Got better quickly, played with different partners, and didn't really take pickleball too seriously until after I graduated college, and that was when I decided to try to go pro in pickleball and move down to Jacksonville, Florida, which I did last year, partially because, well, obviously my family moved to Jacksonville a couple years ago, so I moved down to be closer to them, and then also to go all in on playing pro pickleball. And a big goal of mine was to play in the All Florida Pro League. So I'm very, very happy to be able to do that, because I knew about the All Florida Pro League even when I lived in Kentucky, and so that was a big thing on my checklist to play in this league, and eventually I'd like to make it on the pro tour, whether that's PPA or APP or whatever that looks like.
That's awesome, and you're definitely a big part of the league so far this season. What was your reaction? You talk about you knew about the league. That was one of your goals to get into it. So hearing your name called in the All Florida Pro League draft at the beginning of the year, hearing you were going to be a part of the Palms, what was your reaction in your mind? What was going through your mind right then and there?
Yeah, it was super exciting. I didn't expect to be a first round pick. I was happy to be drafted at all. So very exciting, and I was actually on my way to Tennessee for my buddy's bachelor trip. Funny enough, so I was driving through the woods, and I didn't have service, so I wasn't able. I barely made it in time to see my name called. It was crazy. So then I was able to celebrate with my friends there. So it was super super fun. Yeah, very exciting.
That's the most Michael Shaw story I've ever heard, and I've actually played pickleball with his dad, so I know where he gets it from, and it's lots of fun. All right, so you live in Jacksonville, right? And you're playing for the Palms, and the Palms won the Jacksonville stop. What was that like for
Yes.
you being able to do that in front of your home crowd?
Yeah, it was super special. Really cool experience. It was great. I really felt the support from everybody who came out and watched, and I knew I had a lot of people from Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, even Alabama. Those are some of the places I've lived in the past. So I had a lot of people tuning into the stream, and really felt the support, especially in that last Dreambreaker. I felt like the crowd was really behind me as I was battling some cramps as well. So yeah, it was just really special. I don't think anything will top that experience until I've won a PPA or APP medal, because that was just so incredible. All the adversity we had to face as a team, and me individually, with a bloody nose and cramps and everything that I had to deal with that day. But yeah, it was just a really really special experience, especially doing that in front of the Jacksonville hometown.
Yeah, and you talk about how it was kind of a roller coaster for you individually on the day. You had the bloody nose earlier in
Yes.
the day during pool play, and then I think it was maybe the fourth point of the Dreambreaker, and you pull up with a cramp. What was going through your mind then? I mean, were you thinking, "Oh man, like I'm done. I can't play the rest of this Dreambreaker," or was it like, "All right, I just got to go roll myself out and get back out there"?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of thoughts were going through my head. I was thinking, "Oh, what am I doing? I should have put Sherry out first. She's better at singles than me anyway." So I was thinking that. I was like, "Oh, I should have put Eli out. He wouldn't have cramped." Yeah, it was a lot of thoughts through my head. But yeah, that was one of the most painful cramps I've ever had in my life, and it sucks the timing of that. But my goal out there was just to get Sherry back on the court, and I knew she could clutch up for us. But yeah, I think I went back out there and went 0-4 immediately after that cramp. But then Sherry came
You
in
did.
clutch and she went 4-0 and tied it back. And then I was able to go 3-1, and we evened out. But yeah, I mean, and I realize now that I had a timeout I could have used as well, but I didn't even think about it. I was a little distracted with my leg and everything. But yeah, so kicking myself now that I realized I could have used the timeout. But yeah, I'm just really happy we came out with the dub there.
Well, don't kick yourself too much. You won, so you could have used that timeout. The cramp could have got worse, and you could have not been able to play, and you would have lost. So,
That's
if it
true.
works
That's a
out
good
in
way
your
of looking
favor,
at
your
it.
strategy was right on. Um,
There we go.
you mentioned that it was a goal of yours that you knew about the All Florida Pro League when you lived outside the state and when you moved here, and then obviously getting drafted to the Lakeland Palms. What has this been like for you in the All Florida Pro League, pushing you as a pro both on and off the court?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great experience so far. Um, I've really loved every minute of it. I'm on a great team. I love Lakeland. Dave, our owner, is super great. Coach Nate, love him. Yeah, I mean, the whole experience has been tremendous, and I love just the community between even people on different teams, right? Because we're all going and we all have the same goal at the end of the day. We're all trying to make it in this pro pickleball scene, and we might be competing right now, but when we go to PPA challengers or other tournaments, we're all there cheering each other on and really supporting each other as we continue to grow. So that's super fun. I think one of the things that the All Florida Pro League has helped me push me to continue to get better and to learn. I think it's really helped me become more of a vocal leader and be able to help my teammates and really push me to be a better player. I feel like growing up, I played basketball, so I was never really a star player in that sense. And so being a first round pick comes with some responsibilities that I wasn't used to. I wasn't expecting, like in basketball, I was never expected to put up 40 points, right? That just wasn't my role. So I was always good at passing and setting up my teammates. And I still continue to do that. And I kind of play pickleball that way. I love to set up my teammates for their putaways or stuff like that. But now being in the All Florida Pro League, I'm expected to be a star in my role. And so that comes with being a vocal leader and, still lifting up my teammates and playing to the best of my ability.
I love that.
Yeah, and said that you're kind of expected to be one of the stars of the team. Does that add any pressure to you when you realize, hey, I'm the first round pick of this team. I was the first person picked on this Lakeland Palms team. Does that add pressure to you playing throughout the season?
Definitely. It definitely motivated me to continue to keep grinding and really put in more work. And I mean, I was already putting in a lot of work to get to that point, but just to continue to push and get better and develop myself in different areas. But yeah, definitely added a bit more pressure to my game.
So you're talking about pressure. and we're coming up on the Lakeland stop. You
Yeah.
guys are pretty cozy in the playoff race. You're not going to make the 1 or the 2 seed, but you're probably not going to, fall out of the playoffs. You're just going to be, you're going to make the playoffs. But you're in your hometown. And I know this is your first year. Lakeland is always like one of the wildest stops. Is your team you guys feeling any pressure to really try and take home another stop final, really show out in front of your hometown? Is there any of that pressure? What's going through you guys' head right now as you're coming into your hometown stop?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that the Lakeland stop is electric. I've heard that a lot of people come out and support us, and so yeah, we definitely feel the pressure of performing, and definitely don't want to let our home crowd down in Lakeland. So yeah, definitely want to do well there. But yeah, I mean, yeah,
What,
just
what are
go
you
ahead.
doing to prepare for Lakeland? How do you prepare for that scenario?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's difficult because it's hard to recreate anything that you're gonna experience on tournament day. But yeah, I think I mean, it's nice that Madeline Porter and I can continue to practice in Jacksonville and get reps that way. And then Eli, Curls, and Sherry are able to practice in Lakeland and get practice as well. And, it's always hard to when you make changes to a team, it's always hard to know if changes are gonna do well or if they're gonna flop. So it's really nice to have Madeline Porter and Eli, come together, especially on this last stop, and play with different teammates. And it's just a testament to how good of players they are and how they were able to step up for us.
Your changes kind of worked, huh?
Y-
Yeah, they worked a little bit for sure. We'll make the last one for you. So you're heading into stop 5, and then we got the stop finals or the season finals 2 weeks later in Orlando. So what's your mindset individually? You talked about as a team heading to the home stop, but individually, is there something you're working on, or something that you think your game could improve, or something you have to keep going at that you've been doing well for these final 2 stops of the season?
Yeah, I think going into the All Florida Pro League, I was practicing more right side. I was playing more that consistent style, and so now I'm playing left side, and so now I'm playing a bit more court than I've been usually accustomed to. So, you know, trying to get more aggressive and really look to create more than I have in the past. So I'm really been working on my offense, and whether that's flicks or off the bounce speed ups, are the two main things I've been working on different combinations and stuff like that. But just being more of an aggressive player because I'm naturally more passive and I use my consistency to my advantage. But now I'm working on, creating a bit more, taking a little more risk, taking a little more court, and really pushing myself in that sense. So that's what I've been working on.
I mean, so you're talking about the left side Shaw effect, right? You know, left side players are consistent too. Just
Sure.
because you're creating offense doesn't mean you're not going to be consistent. Why do you feel you're a right side player when you're playing so well on the left?
I think I pride myself in being able to play both sides.
Okay.
I think that's just my natural inclination is to be the setup guy, like I was talking about earlier,
Hmm.
and so I love setting up my teammate, whoever that is. So I think the right side is really good for that, and that plays to some of my strengths as well. With like just sitting on counters, I really like my backhand counter, so I can just sit there and I feel like people have a tough time getting it past me. Where left side, I have to cover a few different spots. So yeah, I mean, I like playing both sides, and I think I'm playing pretty well on the left, and I'm playing lots of tournaments with Toby Moreno, another previous All Florida Pro League
Champion.
member. Yeah,
Mhm.
champion. So
So
he's a
we call
lefty.
him a
So
champion. You know,
yeah,
we call him a champion. He played for the Chomp last year.
exactly. So I've been playing a lot with him. So he's a lefty. So I'm obviously playing the left side, and he's playing the right. So yeah, I mean, I like playing the left side, and I'll probably keep playing the left side for a while. We'll see, but yeah, who knows?
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you and Toby and a whole bunch of the All Florida Pro League players playing together this weekend in Atlanta at the Challenger. We'll be up there hanging out, seeing what's going on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too.
All right. Well, there you go. Left side, Michael Shaw joining the show. Thank you so much, Michael, for being on the show with us. Good luck to you this weekend and throughout the rest of the season as well.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right. That's Michael Shaw, baby.
Left side Shaw, man. It's funny. No, I love Michael Shaw. Obviously, I just moved to Jacksonville here. I've had a chance to see him, and like I said, I played pickleball with his dad. But somebody said, like, you're watching these players be put in this environment and learn more about themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a second player that I've had personal interactions with that are like, man, I've always played the right, but I love playing on the left now, and I'm, realizing that I'm good on both sides, or I'm actually just a left side player, and figuring that out through the league. I love that that's kind of our mission, and what we do.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely that's one of the biggest things that the league offers, right? It's developing you on and off the court, and that's part of on the court is finding out who you are as a player. And Michael's definitely been doing that so far this season.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So we talked about the season kind of winding down, right? After the season, we have a little announcement, David. A little announcement coming for after the season. The All Florida Pickleball Circuit is coming back to the Florida, to all around Florida. And Here you go.
Yeah, so look, we did it last season, was the All Florida Pro Circuit. A little bit of confusion there, but kind of back to our roots here. The All Florida Pickleball Circuit now is coming around, and it's going to be team pickleball. So the All Florida Pro League is team pickleball. So we're going to do a circuit of team pickleball. You're going to get points. We're going to see who the best players in the state are, who the best team. You can make your own team. So there's no draft or anything like that. We've obviously, someone who started minor league pickleball, we're doing minor league V3s. So a little bit different format this year where we're going to do teams of 3. So you'll have gender and mixed. 3 guys will be there. And then in the mixed, it'll be 2 guys and 1 girl on a team. And we're going to travel the state. We've also got some more big announcements coming. And if you could read between the lines here, there's some other things happening. But we're going to be going to some cool stuff. I love that we're again kicking off. Punta Gorda, the Tide, have become our jumping spot. They start the league off. They're going to start the off-season circuit. There's going to be some really cool prizes and points. And, of course, fantasy pickleball for the amateurs and the pros. Cash prizes, fat medals, charity. We're looking to target and do some really cool charity work. But team pickleball is coming to Florida in a just big, big way like we've never done before. And I'm pumped about it. We created this we created like the team pickleball category here in Florida, and we're just gonna flat out own it now.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, when the All Florida Pro League ends, team pickleball doesn't end. There's pros, there's amateurs, all coming to the All Florida Pickleball Circuit. So that'll be, that's going to be a blast all throughout the state. We're going up north, we're going down south. All around east, west, we're covering the state. Team pickleball coming to your hometown, wherever it is.
It's one of those things where I get text messages throughout the year going, how do I get on a team? How do I get on a team? How do I get on a team? Well, and also too, for all the players that didn't get drafted that felt like they should have, this is your chance to really showcase your skills in front of our owners. They're all going to be there. They're all going to be watching. They're all going to be looking. I use this as a great point. Alyssa Balicki played the last stop of the All Florida Pro League circuit, right? The All Florida Pro Circuit. She played that. That's how she got noticed. Nobody had a clue who she was until that stop, and now look, she's on the number 1 team. So if you think you can do that, play this circuit, put together your team, show your skills, because every owner is going to be there. Some of them might be even playing.
Yeah, I'm super excited to see. I'm excited to see what these teams are going to look like. I mean, who plays with who puts their teams together. I mean, it's going to be madness when it comes to the pickleball circuit in the off season. But before that, we have 2 more stops coming up. Thank you all for joining us on Pro League this week. That's David Tabb. I'm Hugh Green. We'll break down some more about Stop 5 and a little bit more about the off season circuit coming up next week. So join us then.